Cello everyone, Cello Doodle here, and today we are doing a Winnie the Pooh speed build. Now, I love Winnie the Pooh. This is my favorite movie as a kid. I have the book. I have a lot of stuffed animals of Winnie the Pooh, so I am a major Winnie the Pooh fan. So I wanted to design Pooh's house. Now, I think it turned out super cute. As you can kind of see here, I'm struggling with wallpaper because nothing works. I will also show you the reference photo quite soon so you guys can kind of get a feel for what I'm trying to go with this house. It definitely turned out to be a modern Winnie the Pooh house, which I'm honestly not too mad about. It's pretty cute. It definitely is in that Animal Crossing style. It's not exactly from like the movie or the books, but at the same time, we're in Animal Crossing. You can only do so much. I had thought about doing a happy home, like paradise home for this, but I just decided against it. It was just easier to do the one room. Maybe I'll make this room into a full house for a villager and do their front yard and all that. Oh, and here is that reference photo. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. We are looking from like where the door would be. So it doesn't show everything against that wall. So I kind of had to use my imagination for that last wall. And you can see here I'm trying to figure out the beds because in this the frustrating thing is there's nothing exactly like it should be in the photo, so that's why I kind of had to modernize it and just take some creative liberties, which I do enjoy, but sometimes it's annoying. You can see I'm trying to figure out the table situation. I really wish they would have done a blue wedding table. Like, at the time, it didn't seem weird, but now it's like, I love that table because it's the only table of that size with a cloth on it. So I just had to do this, like, massive table, which felt so out of place and a little clunky here. So I really wish that wedding table had had, like, a blue swatch, and I didn't want to really deviate from, like, the light blues that I could see in the photo and, like, the purple because I wanted to keep at least the same vibe, and I feel like if I kind of deviated too far from it, it'd be hard to tell because it's already pretty far from it. So just wanted to make sure everything looked pretty similarly. This house overall is pretty simple, which I like, but sorting through the catalog was a nightmare. As you can see here, I'm trying to figure out like that shelving unit. I wanted to do the smaller one because I like the sizing better, but I liked doing the honey pots because I felt like that was a little better. So in the end, I did end up going with that. But the catalog was a nightmare. As you can see here, I just grabbed the mirror because I knew I wanted to use it later. So I'm like, we're going to grab it now because I'm not going to be able to find it later. This was about a half hour of me building. I want to say 75% of it was me looking through the catalog and scrolling. I had also thought about doing a lighting, like in the photo you can see kind of beams going up, but I didn't really want to like do curtains or anything because I felt like it'd get more cluttered, whereas this is pretty simple and I just wanted it to look good. I also really struggled because the pots, like in there, they have multiple different sizes pushed up against each other like you would normally have like in your house, but in this it was a little tricky because you can't have that, so I kind of had to simplify those pots. And here you can see I'm struggling with the rug situation. I kind of had to make my own rug by putting the two together. I didn't like the seam, but it actually lined up pretty close to the like partition wall. So that really kind of helped make sure that it didn't look too out of place, even though it didn't look great. I wasn't too happy with that. It was also hard picking what the framed photo should be. I could have gone through the design and found one that would fit perfectly, but I just did not feel like doing that. That was just not something I felt like doing when I did this build because I know I could have found some cute pictures, but I was like, no, we're not doing that. If I do this build again, which I probably will, and I'll like sometime later I can go more out, like all out with it. I think that would be cute, but for this I was like, we're just gonna do some nice photos, nothing too complicated. I also tried to keep the wooden furniture kind of the same, even though it's not exactly matching the photo. I felt like the room needed to still look good as a whole. And there, I was so glad they had an embroidery like piece of art for the wall because that was like exactly in the photo. I'm pretty sure there was blue because I saw the blue and that's when I was like, okay, we'll go with this one. So even if it wasn't, it matches the blue aesthetic, like the blue and wood tone, which I really like personally. I think it's cute. I decided to go with the beam. I thought it looked good. I feel like with those partition walls, you kind of need it. And here I'm kind of looking for that clock because there's a lot of things, because I had finished the room at that point. Like I had made the room that you could see. At this point, I feel like I needed to add those personal touches, especially on the wall that we are looking from, because you just need that extra element because like some of those elements are in the movie, but they just don't show up in the photo because that photo was like that's one of many, but in a lot of movies you can definitely tell that houses change over series, especially in older like movies like Winnie the Pooh is. So you kind of have to take a few liberties because something might have happened and it's in their house, but any view or like photo you find, you cannot find where that scene is in their house, which I pretty much find interesting, but annoying when you're recreating. I also, the photo in this was really bad, the reference photo. It is highly grainy. I pulled it off the internet. That was the only photo I could find. A lot of the photos were like a house that someone had recreated, like the room. So that was cool, but I was like, no, I'm not recreating somebody's recreation. That'd be a little weird. Or like there's a Lego Winnie the Pooh house, which I also have. Like there's a lot of photos from that, so a lot of people kind of use that as their inspiration. So I kind of did that with the mirror because in that the mirror is by the doorway, so I'm like, we're gonna go with that. I also actually loved using the gyroids for the honey pots, which I thought was really cute. And here you can see final touches, getting some photos up. But we are nearing the end of this build. The final touches like that painting. I just thought it was cute. And it matched the photo. So you guys will see the final photo coming in here soon after I put up Piglet and Winnie the Pooh's photo. I know it's not really them, but I felt like it'd be close and cute. Maybe I'll do it. This is their actual houses when I redo their houses. But yeah, that's a build, and after this we will do the tour. So here's a one last glance at the photo before you do the tour, and I will see you guys there. So now we are going to start off on our tour. I am so happy with how this turned out. Kind of do a slow pan. Now you will have either seen the reference photo or I will be putting it up now. I have not figured that out yet. But I tried the reference photo was like from this angle, so I wanted to make sure to capture that, and then I went through and put in the last details that I feel like it needed. So to start off, we have the little bedroom area, and I made sure to include the little photo above. I wish there was a blue framed bed because that's what he actually had, but instead I went with the wood tone and then the blue quilt. I feel like that still gets the vibe. I did the pot because Pooh would have honey next to his bed. He'd make a mess, but it's Pooh Bear. I have also the grandfather clock. Now, can't remember if this was in the photo or not, but in the movie it showed the clock, so I needed to make sure there was that like grandfather cuckoo clock kind of thing in there. Next off, we have like this little area. This is like his kitchen area. Now, there was like nothing exactly like in the picture, but I felt like this was pretty close and it's cute. I did the honey pots. I tried to do some different designs. I would have done just all this pot, but there's just not enough different colors for me to feel like I can do that. I also wish there was a skinnier table with a tablecloth, but that was not a possibility. But I also did the blue chair, and I wanted to do the shelving. Now, I was thinking about doing honey pots on the wall, but I decided to go with those gyroids specifically because they look like pots. So I feel like that kind of gets away with it. The window also isn't here in the picture that I was using, but it works. Then I put another photo up because in the photo, the reference photo I used, it had that photo up there. And I made sure to include the mirror because in one of the opening scenes, he's at a mirror. So I felt like that needed to be included. I also loved this purple rug. It matched really well. There was nothing long enough, so I just decided to do that. And I kind of like how it flows to make it feel like this is a hallway-ish area, even though it's pretty open. But I do like this wall here to kind of separate out. Then we have the little stool in here. I also kind of did a personal touch. I put up the photos. So I just decided to do Pooh and Piglet. I was thinking about doing everyone else, but I felt like this is more of a simple build. It's not like too complex. And I also did the cross stitch on the wall, a honey pot. I wish we could kind of like half place things or like scooch them a little closer, because in this I felt like that restricted me a lot. The wooden walls, as you probably have seen in this build, those were a nightmare to figure out because there's nothing exactly like the photo, because it's like inside of a tree. We don't have anything like that, or at least I haven't unlocked anything like that. If it does exist, please let me know, because I need to see it, but this was the next best bet. I do really love how it turned out, though. I love the wooden floors. Like, it feels like a very modern Winnie the Pooh house. I really like how it turned out. As you probably now can figure out, I am a massive Winnie the Pooh fan, so I was like so excited when I thought of this. I was like, this will be the perfect build. If you guys want me to do the other Winnie the Pooh characters' houses, I'd totally be down for that, because Pooh isn't personally my favorite character. Love him. Like, I have a stuffed animal like 2 times, but Piglet is my favorite. So, if you want to see Piglet's house, like the video, and maybe I'll do Piglet's house. Or if you have any other ideas of recreations, I'll totally do those too. But I will see you all next time. Bye!